term barzakh, when we speak about the barzakh, the life between this life and resurrection, the day of judgment. It's called the barzakh in the Quran, in the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. And it's shaped like an inverted horn. The lower down you go, the more constricted it becomes. Constricted, constricted. The higher up you go, then the more expansive it becomes. Until the highermost part is in the seventh sky. That's the highest most part. That's the sky of faith that the Prophet ﷺ saw the Prophet Ibrahim ﷺ in Bukhari and Muslim, there upon the throne outside of Bayt al-Ma'mur, the Kaaba of the seventh sky, alayhi salam. Yani, wicked souls at the dungeons, called Sijjin in the Quran. Yani, good souls at the highest level, Illiyin, as Allah Ta'ala calls it in the Quran. They're in the highest manifestation, it's called the Illiyin. That's where they reside. And then, Baynahuma, between these two opposite quote-unquote extremes, are people of disparate degrees. And Imam Sidi Abdul Aziz al-Dabbagh, rahmatullah ta'ala alayh, he says that as for disobedient souls, because there's different degrees of disobedience, disobedient souls don't go beyond the fourth sky. Because many a good man can be disobedient, many a good woman can be disobedient, but they don't go beyond the fourth sky. That's the sky of Sayyidina Idris alayhi salam. They don't go beyond that sky inside of the barzakh. But note that this is just one of the places, what maybe like we call a vortex, a connection of the soul. But the soul has many places that it connects upon the face of what? The earth or inside of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's universe. As in traditions, your soul connects to your grave. As the Prophet ﷺ said, there's not a single person who will pass by a grave and give salams, greetings of peace to the person of the grave, save that Allah ta'ala radda alayhi ruhih, save that Allah ta'ala will quote-unquote connect the soul. I bring the soul back to that point, that vortex, such that the person now, yarud the salam. The person will walk, will say, wa alaykum as-salam. When you go to the graveyard, you say, Assalamu alaikum, daru qawmul mu'mineen, antum musabiqoon, wa nahnu lahiqoon, inshallah ta'ala. It's what some taught us, When you enter the graveyard, Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you, daru qawmul mu'mineen. Look at the words. The abode of a believing people. That's the graveyards of the Muslims, Abode of a believing people. That is, mashallah, that's testimony for them, mashallah, tabarakallah, from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Why? Because at that point you have no point but to believe. You're in a different world where it's all crystal clear. Daru qawmul mu'mineen, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says. Antum musabiqoon, you've gone before us. Wa nahnu lahiqoon, we're coming after you. Insha'Allah ta'ala, if God so wills. No, not that if God so wills that you die, because you're going to die. He's already decreed that, subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the ulama say, what does it mean, insha'Allah ta'ala? Insha'Allah, we're coming after you to this blessed place. And the Rasul here now is speaking in particular about Baqiyah. That's where he said those words. Baqiyah, the greatest graveyard upon earth, inside of Medina to Munawwara. And that's why you pray. And every night you pray that Allah buries them in Baqiyah. In tradition, it doesn't matter where you're buried. If you're from the people of Baqiyah, don't worry, in the barzakh, Allah will send you there. And if you ain't from the people of Baqiyah, even if you're buried in Baqiyah, Allah will take you out of there. That's part of the meanings of the Antichrist. When the Antichrist comes to the Hadith al-Bukhari, that Medina, Rajafat, Thalatha Rajafat, will shake 3 times and throw out all of its filth. Human beings, living and dead, will be cast out of Medina to Munawwara. Too pure. And at that point in time, to contain the filth of the earth. The filth that was created from earth, of those who disbelieved in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Antum musabiqoon, nahnu lahiqoon, inshallah ta'ala. That's why we should visit graves. And as a rule, you don't visit, you won't be visited. You won't be. And if you're not visited, believe it, you have problems inside of the barzakh. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, if it wasn't for the living, the dead would perish. And we save many a person. By the fact that we're on the face of the earth and we pray for them, we visit them, we save many a person. That's why the Prophet said, not a night went past save that you'd find him in Baqiyah. And walking through the graveyard, praying for those who were buried inside of the graveyard. That's his sunnah. His sunnah on Friday morning, his sunnah on Friday evening, his sunnah on Saturday morning, his sunnah on Monday. That's where the sunnahs of visiting the graves come from. This was his day dinner, his habitual practice. It's the care of the Messenger, because he could hear what's going on. And look at the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There are those of you who enter the grave with mountains of sins, and you come forth clean. Clean. How did that happen? Where you entered one way and you come out another way, resurrected a different way. Even more so the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, those who were resurrected Yawm al-Qiyamah, they go forth with sins, they come forth Yawm al-Qiyamah with mountains of good deeds. And they say, Ya Allah, these ain't mine. Look how truthful they are. And the wrong person, I didn't do that. No, they are yours. You just don't understand how it works. You don't understand the type of people you left behind. That righteous son, that righteous daughter, that righteous friend who spent times, nights crying for you, praying for you, standing beside your grave. Hakada. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us tawfiq, and that Allah ta'ala blesses us with a beautiful end subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inshallah ta'ala, I think our time's good now, isn't it?